Before we talk about why people don't actually want cheap offers, they want something else entirely, grab my digital product sales system because this is the framework that shows you how to price and position your product so it feels worth every penny, no matter what niche you're in. So the link is in the description, and I also added a pinned comment so that you can grab it today. Now, let's talk about how when you're struggling to sell something, the first instinct is usually to drop the price. So you think if it's cheaper, it'll be easier for people to say yes. So you convince yourself that the price is the barrier, but most of the time it isn't. People aren't sitting around wishing they could buy the cheapest thing. They're wishing they could buy the right thing. They don't want cheap, they want certainty. They want confidence, and they want to feel like they're making a smart decision that solves their problem without creating new ones because cheap feels less risky. It makes people wonder what's wrong with it. It makes them question how well it works, and it sets off alarms instead of pulling them in. So when something feels too cheap, people don't think they're getting a bargain, they think they're getting a hassle. And so they picture bad customer service or they expect lower quality. So they imagine buying it, regretting it, and then having to start all over again. And that emotional cost is bigger than the financial one. So, price is a signal. It tells a story about what the buyer can expect. When you price something too low, you may accidentally tell them it's low value, although it may not be. But even if it's not, even if it's amazing, human brains are trained to equate price with worth. So if your offer is solving an important problem, pricing it cheap doesn't make it accessible. It makes it suspect. Okay. So it doesn't create excitement, it creates doubt. And people want to feel like they're choosing wisely. They want to feel like they're investing in a solution that's going to work. They want to feel smart, not cheap. So when you give them something that feels premium and it's backed by proof, positioned with clarity, and priced in a way that matches the transformation, you give them the emotional payoff that they're really what they're really looking for. So it's not the cheapest deal, but it's the right solution. And cheap also attracts the wrong customers, okay? So it pulls and people who don't really value the solution, people who don't align with you, people who are looking for a miracle without effort, who will want a refund at the first inconvenience. And so they aren't buying because they believe in the transformation. They're buying because it was the lowest price. And so you don't want these tire kickers who are looking for the lowest price that they can find. That kind of buyer doesn't stick around. They don't want to become your loyal customers. They don't leave glowing reviews. They drive your energy and they drain your energy and drive it into the ground. And so your resources go down because without ever fueling your growth. And so you don't want these type of people around. So tell me this, right? Do you personally buy more based on price or based on the promise? Drop your answer below because I'm betting that the majority of you will prove my point here. Because I'm telling you, you do not want tire kickers. So when you position your offer for value instead of price, everything shifts. So you start attracting people who care about results, people who show up ready to do the work, people who are proud to say they have invested because it means they're serious about changing something in their life or business. And those customers, those clients are so much easier to serve because they get better results. they refer other people who are like them. And so they become the foundation of a real brand instead of a revolving door of discount chasers. Okay. So think about the things you've been happiest to spend money on, the best restaurant experience you've ever had, the product that made your life easier, the course that changed how you run or how you do your business, because chances are none of them were the cheapest option available. They were the ones that made you feel something: trust, excitement, relief, pride, that feeling of being proud that you've accomplished something. So that's what people want when they buy, not the lowest number on the checkout page, the feeling that they made the right call. So you create that feeling through positioning, not by stacking endless bonuses or by slashing your price down to the bone, but you create it by making your offer feel specific, tailored, outcome driven, and worth every single penny. Okay? So you show your customer and your clients that you understand their problem better than they can even articulate it themselves. You paint the before and after so vividly that the price feels like a small hurdle and not some sort of giant leap, because value isn't about how much stuff you cram into an offer. It's about how tightly the offer matches what the buyer already wants. It's about making the path from the current frustration to their desired outcome look fast, clear, and achievable. So when you do that, you can price higher and still close more sales, not because you tricked anyone, but because you finally aligned your offer with what you actually crave and what people are actually craving. So then you have alignment. So another mistake people make when they focus on cheap is that they start marketing to logic. They build pitches around features and inclusions and discounts and savings, but buying is emotional first and logical second. So people justify with logic after they've already made the emotional decision to buy. So if you only market to their logical brain, you miss the sale, because cheap feels logical, but premium, high end, value feels emotional. And that's the real trigger. Scarcity also plays into this. So when someone or something feels cheap, it feels abundant, replaceable. But when something feels valuable, it feels rare. And scarcity makes people act. Not fake scarcity with countdown timers and evergreen funnels, but real scarcity built on the sense that this solution, this transformation, this shortcut to their goal isn't something they're going to find everywhere. So when you price for value and position your offer like it's the missing piece they've been searching for, you tap into a deeper urgency than any discount ever could. Okay. So it's not that no one ever buys cheap things, because people do buy cheap things. But when it comes to solving meaningful problems, when we're talking health, business, relationships, finances, they don't want the bargain bin solution. They want the one that feels like a sure thing. They want the one that feels safe to trust, the one that feels like it respects the seriousness of what they're trying to fix or achieve. So when you discount yourself too heavily, you send the opposite message. So you accidentally say, this isn't worth much. And so your audience isn't made up of penny pinchers. It's made up of people who want to believe they can get where they want to go faster, smarter, and with fewer wrong turns. and you're going to lead them there. So that's what they're buying. They're not buying a PDF, a course login, a coaching call. It's the outcome, the confidence, the feeling that they're finally on the right path and they feel safe with you to take them there and lead them there. So pricing is a part of your brand story. It tells people whether you see your solution as ordinary or extraordinary. It tells them whether you believe in the power of what you've built or whether you're just hoping someone takes a chance on you. So if you don't price your offer like it's worth something, no one else will. So you don't have to be the most expensive option in your niche or even in your industry, but you do have to stop racing to the bottom. That race never ends well, and someone will always be willing to charge less, and always competing on price turns your work into a commodity. So competing on value turns your work into a category of one. So when you position your offer around transformation, back it up with proof, frame it with confidence, and price it to match the outcome, you create something powerful. You create offers people are proud to buy, offers they talk about, they tell their families, they tell their friends, offers they associate with success. So that's what grows a real business, not flash sales and 80% off coupons, not endless new products to patch up the holes that were left by underpricing the old ones, but real growth comes from building offers that people don't just buy, but they believe in. Again, people don't want cheap. They want to win, and we can win, okay? They want to feel smart. They want to feel like they made a move that's going to change something important in their lives. They have the chance to give them, and you have the chance to give them that. So remember, you are the solution to your client's problem, but only if you stop trying to be the cheapest and start making them feel like they're making the best decision they'll make all year or even their entire life. And that's the offer they're looking for, whether they realize it or not. Okay. So if you want your audience to choose, uh, for your if you want your audience to choose for your value instead of your price, grab my digital product sales system. The link is below in the description, and it's also in the pinned comment section, so you can grab it today and get started. And also subscribe for my strategies, for more strategies like this. Hit the bell notification and let me know in the comments section what you're going to change in your offer starting today. Because remember, you are the solution to your clients' problems. And remember, be a legend.